Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. I'm Damon Campbell with KarmaloopTV here at Lincoln Hall in Chicago with a very special guest. Would you like to introduce yourself?
I'm FEMME.
Great to meet you, Femme. Definitely appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you for your time.
Absolutely. Now, apart from the obvious reasons, of course, it does make quite a bit of sense that you're all about the girl power because I understand Aretha Franklin's Natural Woman was pretty significant to your career.
Yeah, I mean, anything Aretha Franklin sung, basically, I just think is phenomenal. I think she's an amazing singer. But I actually covered her Respect. I did it tonight, actually, live. Goes down like really well. And it's kind of amazing how it's still relevant, like generations later. Like these teenagers we're playing to, they know it, which is actually quite surprising to me because it's a very old song now. You know, that's a classic.
And hadn't you actually performed it in like a singing competition back in the day?
Oh, way back. You must have done your friggin' research. Like that's way back. Yeah, when I was like 15, 16, I sang Natural Woman and I ended up winning like a local talent competition with it. Yeah, that's the first time actually my parents realized that I could sing, I think.
Do you remember anything about it, like what it was called or anything?
Yeah, it was called, dare I say this on camera?
You might as well.
It was called Teen Idol.
Okay.
Yes.
Awesome. And
dare you dig deeper? Go on.
Well.
What else have you got up
here
your
we go.
sleeve? Come on.
Well, speaking of covers, what can you tell us about Rag and Bone?
Rag and Bone, that's where I worked. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I worked there for a year after I finished my degree in a vintage shop. And I basically have never had such a good wardrobe as when I worked there. Oh, hi.
Just got all sorts of things going on here.
This is a lively interview. Yeah, so that's a vintage shop I worked in Deptford, which is in southeast London, which is the area I still live in now.
Okay.
I love working there. I served some complete fucking characters. I mean, it was basically only me in a shop about as big as this office.
Okay.
But it was fun. I did that for about 6 months.
No kidding. And did you also have like your own vintage line of some sort at one point?
After that, yeah, I started selling stuff online just to try and pay bills and things, which worked for quite a while. And then I was able to kind of do the music professionally. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Like what sort of stuff would that entail?
What would I sell?
Yeah.
Like usually, like because I was getting a lot of stuff from rag yards, which are like recycling plants, you will be amazed at the stuff people chuck out. So it was a lot of kind of old Hermes scarves, you know, the old vintage scarves that still sell for about £100 online.
Wow.
And, you know, you find a couple of them a week and you're winning, really.
Yeah, totally.
And then the rest of the time it was just like 60s kind of, you know, classic vintage gear and, you know, loads of stuff that I like basically, which usually sold quite well.
Totally. And in some of your earlier performances, you had made, I guess, a bit of a fashion statement with the gaffer tape. But was that also kind of like a statement to the sound guys as well at the time? Like, what was the story
I hadn't actually
there?
thought about it like that. But yeah, I guess in some ways it was a two fingers up really to a very male-dominated industry, especially like people weren't really used to a girl turning up with a lot, because I was doing a lot of live electronic stuff, so a lot of loop stations. I was recording my own voice and then like playing it back, cutting up beats on the fly and stuff. And yeah, people usually would look at me like, this was before loop stations like were all over the place. You know, everyone's got like a loop station now, but so they would look at me, kind of raise their eyebrow, like amazed that I actually knew how to plug this thing in, and you know, so I guess it kind of subconsciously it probably was a two fingers up, but I wasn't really thinking about it like that. I just thought it was quite fun.
Yeah. Was that more so in your Dimbleby and Capper days?
Oh yeah, way back, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you know, in addition to that, and FEMME as well, you're also, as far as I know, still in the what seems to be kind of on again, off again band Ultra Ista.
Yeah.
But prior to all of that, were you also in like some sort of band at some point called Shake Susie Shake?
Whoa, where have you got this information from? This is some old school family history shit. Shake Susie Shake. If the guys are watching this back home that I was in that band with, they are going to be pissing their fucking pants. Shake Susie Shake. Yeah, that was when I was like 16, when I was just leaving school basically. 16, 17. Yeah, we only did 2 gigs and then I left for Goldsmiths. And and then I started Dimbleby and Capper, and then second year of uni I met Nigel, so we were doing Ultra Ista, and then off the back of Ultra Ista, when that finished, we finished promoting the first album in 2013. Then I started FEMME, so FEMME's been going about a year.
Yeah. And, you know, speaking of not necessarily sticking together, back to the gaffer tape for a moment, was there also like a time where it had come undone during a show?
Oh yeah, plenty of times. Because as you sweat, as you like get into your show, you start sweating, and then the gaffer tape just peels off. I started to realise. So you know, as the shows got bigger and like more energetic, slowly my costume would start disintegrating. Did it ever fall off completely? No. I think there was probably a point where I left stage like gripping it to my chest, but no, it never fell off completely.
Was Wigfield's Saturday Night tape any more reliable than that?
Yeah, that was the first thing I ever bought. I bought it from Our Price in my local town. Yeah, first. I remember it so well. It's green with like white squiggles on the front. Yeah.
Did you ever learn the dance that went along with it?
Oh, of course I did. Yeah, I could do it for you now. I won't do it for you now, but I could do it for you now.
Would you mind?
I'm definitely not doing it for you now.
Okay, fair enough. But I guess, you know, I suppose I'm not too surprised by you remaining seated, because growing up, was there also a time period where you were kind of had aspirations to become like a mounted policewoman?
Yeah, I always say that's what I'd have done if I hadn't done music. Like, because I loved horses growing up. Like, I loved being outside and like in the countryside. And then, the mounted. I mean, if you could take away the police bit, you know, I'm not sure I'd really want to like have a fucking riot shield and like batter people with a horse. Like, that seems a little bit out of my remit. You know, I'm not that kind of person. But I do quite like the idea of just wandering around town on a horse all day. Yeah, seems quite, you know.
Could Calamity Jane be perhaps considered as inspiration?
Calamity
for that?
Jane were like the videos that I like. My gran had them on VHS, and we'd just play them back to back, basically, when we were growing up, like when we were kids. Yeah. And Calamity Jane, it's cool.
And I suppose it could even be said that your dad knows a thing or two about westerns, because he was a film director in London's West End. Yeah,
he's a theatre director. Yeah, so he put on like these massive musical productions. Still does, but I basically grew up in and out of like a theatre, and I did all my work experience like in and out of like seeing just from the very first stages of like him auditioning all the actors, casting it to like the opening night. And it was, of course, it must have been influential on the way I treat my life there, you know, because I'm quite theatrical with it, and it's also, you know, there's a sense of fantasy and surreal and fun about the whole thing as well.
Totally. Do your parents own a farm as well?
Yeah, they own alpacas.
Oh, is that
alpacas
what it is?
are? Yeah. So they have 200 alpacas in a village called Dunchurch, in just like 2 hours north of London, basically.
So you didn't grow up on the farm, or?
Not so much, but I did. Yeah, I did. But
here and
there. They got them when I was 11. Okay. I think. So yeah, most of my life I've had alpacas in the back garden. Yeah, of course.
How about that? Is there anything else you think people should know about FEMME?
I don't know, because you've got a pretty deep insight into my personal life there. Yeah, that's an unusual interview. It's good. I like it.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, woken me up.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for your time. It was great chatting with you.
Thank you, man. It was great meeting you.
Absolutely. Best wishes with everything coming your way. Cheers. Is there anything else you want to say to the people out there watching?
Got a new single out. It's called High. It came out on Monday, and it's on Spotify and iTunes, and go get it.
There you have it. Once again, I'm Damon Campbell, and this is FEMME. Thanks for watching.